Hello and thanks for checking out TheChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Congrats MJ Sector Bulls, what a day for follow through, and we can thank the big boys who loaded up on fear. This is their game. They load up on fear. How much they contribute to the dump, who knows, but they load up as retail is being flushed out, and then after they have their positions established, or at least some positions established, they put out their upgrades, and then retail FOMO kicks in and they instantly become profitable. Look at the amount of bull volume on CGC traded today. Keeping in mind that this is shares traded and not dollar volume, because the price is certainly very low comparative to where we came from, but biggest share count volume day since our run up to the $50 range. That's very notable. So the gap up open, I was taking profit all day today. I took some profit pre-market. I took some profit. And actually what happened first thing this morning is I tried to place a market sell order for a few thousand shares at the open when the price was between 16 and 16.10. And my order sat there for 90 seconds plus, maybe 60 seconds plus. And I thought, they're not filling my order. All sells are being absorbed. I'm canceling that because it looks like bulls want it higher. And it looked like, to me, my impression of the situation was, market makers don't want to trigger my sell and have the price pull back significantly. They probably want it to go higher. So I canceled and then a bit later sold for a few percent higher. So I appreciated that little tip from the market makers who did not fill my market order. But I am now all cash in the MJ space. Reason being, this bounce is way faster than I thought it would be, and I'm not going to be greedy in a daily downtrend. I would much rather be all cash, take it as a fresh, clean slate. At this point, I would only be looking for bearish entries for the daily lower highs, and I absolutely am going to expect a daily higher low will form wherever we top out, because of the size of the bounce and the size of the volume. So if I'm looking to play bullish again, I can be looking to make a day trade off of the first time we see 5-minute oversold conditions from this move. There'll be a day trade flip in there. Hourly oversold conditions would be great. Not sure if we'll get that. But again, just looking for the daily higher low, and then we'll have to see the trend change from there for this move to be for real. I would not be surprised in the slightest to see that daily trend change take place because, again, the volume. How quickly did we go from absolute utter despair to FOMO in this space? The answer is very quickly. That's the way the game is played. Congrats to the bulls. So, hourly time frame, we did have a little higher low established when the S&P 500 dumped. The sector did not respond to the S&P 500 seeing its most bearish action in days as it dropped $2 in a half an hour on some headlines. We reacted, but that was it. And the bulls bought that dip very significantly and very quickly. So that was a good sign as well. What leads to breaks in correlation? Dollar volume. If you're seeing an individual name break from correlation of its sector, that means a lot of dollar volume is likely pouring into that individual name. If you're seeing a sector break from the market, same thing. A lot of dollar volume is leading to a disregard of what the bots and the algos and the automated trading is doing. It's overpowering all of that. So healthy consolidation. Again, the bears have been punched in the mouth, but they are looking for an entry tomorrow. So if we see the bulls show up and hold 1716 support and break 1841 tomorrow morning, we are not done yet on this move. If we see an inability to break 1841 first thing and then a drop down and a break of 1716, that's going to show the first shift away of this momentum. The 4-hour time frame, after watching the RSI at historical bounce levels and being overextended, it's now overextended in the other direction. We have not consolidated on the 4-hour time frame since this move took place. We've gone 33% with no 4-hour consolidation. So again, just like we were extended to the downside, we're getting extended to the upside. If you are still in a position, you can still be comfortable. We may get some more follow through tomorrow. I would just be ready and establishing your game plan for what you're going to do if we set a daily lower high and eventually pull back, looking for a higher low compared to 1381, which seems very easy for the bulls to pull off at this point. And we also have the CEO news, which we know is going to be coming sometime in the next few weeks, which could help with the daily higher low and higher high. So for those of you who are not active traders and who are less comfortable trading, if you have a position and you're comfortable, then don't mess around with it and try and hold for longer term if that is your goal. For me personally, being comfortable trading and loving the amount of volume and volatility we are seeing back in this space again, I am perfectly fine entering, going in and out. I will be looking for a daily higher low to enter, and my game plan would be to enter on the daily higher low, put my stop under 1381, and at that point, depending on where that higher low is, probably just going to be risking bounce profit, worst case scenario. So it'll be interesting to see what tomorrow brings, but again, extended enough to be watching for the daily lower high to be set either tomorrow or Friday, in my opinion. So after I was scaling out my position, and I definitely scaled out a bit too soon. I didn't hold into the 18s. I was scaling out into the 16s and 17s, but I played cron bearish again. And this is, if you've been watching, you certainly know that I talk about correlations all the time. But what I was watching was CGC in its all-out bull move, and I was watching cron, a laggard. It was not participating as strong. And this pullback right here told me, okay, we have a bear correlation, because we saw the low of the day, the high of the day 15 minutes later, and then we went back to the low of the day. And during that period in time, that was this consolidation on CGC. CGC had a 5-minute bull flag where cron gave back the entire start of the morning. As soon as I saw that, I said, all right, I'm entering on a lower high, and I'm going to short cron around $7 and put my stop over the high of the day. And so I did. I entered in the upper 690s, maybe 696, 697. We pulled back, and I took half of my position as profit in the upper maybe mid 680s, and I was looking for an equilibrium. And as soon as I saw that happen, I said, you know what? I'm gonna exit the second half of my position at 682 because I'm just looking for a daily higher low. And then I recognized, well, CGC still has not consolidated yet in any meaningful way. By 1020, we were at the 1015, 1020 at the high of the day, and here's 1015, 1020. So I'm saying to myself, well, I have a target of 682. That'll be a nice little day maker trade, but the correlation is favoring the cron bears, where if CGC gets any kind of meaningful consolidation on the 5-minute time frame where it's very overextended, I wouldn't be surprised to see cron test the low of the day. So I changed my target for the second half of my position, and I waited, and we did break the low of the day, and I sold on that bear break. So ended up getting maybe 10 to 15 cents more than I would have initially, but that's just an example of how observations of other names in the sector can be used, and correlations, how they can be used as well. In the end, cron has a triple top. Its bounce is much weaker. It's almost like the bulls used up all their momentum with that short squeeze yesterday. And it's just the bounce at this point for cron. We bounced about 16%, which is half of what CGC has bounced. Obviously, CGC had the big advantage today due to its gap up and due to its upgrade, which trapped some shorts, no doubt. So cron absolutely looking for a daily lower high to be set. Key support on cron will be our hourly higher low of 675. ACB, nice catch up. So just like that, who cares about VWAP and conversion? It's still in play. We will set a daily lower high, but increasing bull volume and catching up to be one of the, or in line with some of the bounce leaders. Not nearly as much as CGC, but not far behind, and certainly more than cron. So a big catch up day today. Hourly higher low is at 255. Bulls want to hold that level tomorrow. Again, fail to break 273 and drop down and break 255, and we will see momentum shift, and our daily lower high will potentially be set when we lose hourly uptrends. And again, absolutely looking for our lower high, because anything under 392 is a lower high. That's a 50% move from where we stand. APHA, nice little follow through, already an upper wick, one of the weaker closes. Hourly support is 440, and you can see there's definitely resistance in the 460s. Bears are going to be using these resistance levels, and bears are going to be trying to jump in this space tomorrow. Looking for those daily lower highs. Anything under 510 is a daily lower high. TLRY, resistance is 2092. Its bounce, not nearly as strong as some of these other names. Didn't even bounce 10%. Who cares about TLRY? I don't. All-time low. There's better names to be watching out there in my opinion. Hexo, big upper wick. Anything under 240, a daily lower high. You could call this a little loss of the hourly uptrend. High of the day, hourly high or low, failed to head back to the high of the day, broke support. So more of a temporary top being set on Hexo than any name that we just looked at, and daily exponential resistance continues to give the bulls trouble over the last couple of months. OGI, hourly high or low to try and keep the bulls in full control is 240. And we're looking for the daily lower high. MDFF playing catch up, increase in bull volume after a very weak bounce. Nice to see it participate. Looking for the daily lower high compared to 890. Hourly support is 674. So we can speak in blanket statements for the Canadian MJ space and say we are scouting daily lower highs on everybody. We are watching hourly uptrends for clues on when that daily lower high has been set. Any individual name that cannot break its high of today within the first half hour of trading tomorrow is a bit of a red flag that bears are going to try and capitalize on, and bulls might take that as a sign to take profit. If we break the highs of today, tomorrow morning, and then turn around and break the low of tomorrow after breaking the high of today, not to confuse you, so let's give this example. If we see CGC tomorrow morning open at 1780, and from 1780, we make our move and we break 1841. If we get up to 1880 and then roll over and break the low of the day at that point, that's a red flag that momentum has been lost from the bulls. Volume will be key. We could see first thing this morning, we've had high volume recently, and the hour in the first half hour of trading today, we could see that volume was going to be massive today based on the first hour of the last 3 days and what we saw the first hour of today. So again, congrats to the bulls. Have your game plan set. Are you looking bearish? Are you going to take profit? Are you patiently waiting for the daily high or low to form? If you want some anti-FOMO, zoom out to the weekly time frame and look at how far we have to go to get to the high of last week. And it's crazy how easily we can forget how bearish things have been with 2 days. And it's been a great bounce, but we have a lot of proving to do. USMJ. Congrats, USMJ bulls. Earnings have gone extremely well. It has been bipolar opposites of Canadian MJ earnings reactions to USMJ earnings reactions. And in my opinion, Canadian MJ earnings reactions just set the stage for USMJ to look good no matter what, essentially. But Curaleaf, big bull reaction, up 15% on its earnings. And at this point, we are now currently 30% above our lows. 929 is the next resistance. We're just looking for a weekly lower high to be set compared to 1084. We need daily trend changes in Canadian MJ. We need weekly trend changes in USMJ. But we haven't topped out yet on Curaleaf, and our hourly high or low has not been set today. So tomorrow we can anticipate that consolidation will try and give us an hourly high or low. TRUL, inside bar bull break, that's the reaction to earnings bulls want to see. How about that volume? TRUL is the beast of the sector, and I will be looking for 2020 fall hype heading into a Florida legalization vote, and I will be looking for a monthly equilibrium to be that setup. All-time high, all-time low, lower high, higher low. We're scouting a lower high compared to 2165. I want to see consolidation on the monthly to start 2020. I want to establish a summer position on a monthly high or low. I want to see a bull break of the monthly equilibrium and an all-time high heading into fall of 2020. That's looking far ahead. I never make trades based on that far ahead, but I know what I'm looking for, and I will scout clues on a daily basis to see if that's what we're going to get. Congrats to the TRUL bulls. Beast mode. Next resistance 17 and then 1807. Anything on the daily above 1291 is a higher low. Tons of space to form a daily higher low wherever we top out. Hourly support is 1587. C-Web. So I said yesterday, if I had to guess, I would look for a daily inside bar bear break. Curaleaf earnings said no chance. And C-Web certainly seeing the strength with the sector in response to some earnings here. But we ended up with a little 4-hour inverse head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, little right shoulder. There's your bull break on increasing volume. We have not changed the daily trend yet because we have not set a daily high or low. But we have a lot of space now where we will be looking for a daily high or low to form when we lose the hourly uptrend. Resistance after 1648, 1668, 17. And again, just creating space on the weekly to try and form a weekly high or low whenever we top out. OH, daily high or low is established. I'm considering it with our low, high, higher low, and we're scouting a lower high compared to 550, of course, depending on what CL earnings do next week. But a tightening range, and definitely participated today up 7%, but compared to other names that do not have resistance from last week to be watching, it is a bit of a laggard. And CL has to get over 888 to prove anything to these bulls, and it's probably going to take a bullish earnings reaction to see that happen. So earnings now, we got GTII earnings after hours, and I believe we got IAN as well. Keep in mind, some of their bullish reaction is being priced in. So IAN with a big bull day today with earnings after hours because the market is saying, well, everybody in the U.S. sector is reacting bullish to their earnings so far. I'm going to get in IAN for their earnings. So our weekly high or low is set unless we have a bomb on earnings and a bearish reaction. And we're now looking back up at 245. And if we can break 245, we change the weekly trend. So bullish earnings to reaction would be nice. HARV, pretty much a non-reaction to earnings, which was interesting. Have to break either 394 or 325 to break this range. And we'll patiently wait for that. And GTII, another name, very bullish heading into their earnings. Big bull volume, high expectations, 1298 and 13. And again, the weekly time frame creating space for a weekly high or low whenever we top out. So I have not been trading the US MJ space actively, and I will not be as long as we have this volatility in the Canadian MJ space. Way easier to trade liquidity and meaningful volume, meaningful dollar volume and position sizing in those markets than it is in USMJ. And I will expect that volatility to continue on CGC and the sector as we look for a daily equilibrium to be set. And if I'm going to be a bit more realistic with my drawing, I would probably be looking for something along these lines. But we'll see where we top out. Once we top out, that's when we start to gauge where are we looking for that daily high or low. I may look for Cron bearish tomorrow. Again, I'm limited to trading Cron bearish on Fidelity. They're the only company that they constantly have shorts available for. But I may be interested if there's a clear playoff of a triple top of 708 and we start to see signs of sector consolidation. I'll absolutely jump on that for a day trade. But otherwise, we are patiently waiting for temporary tops of the bounce to be set. I do not like bullish entries up at these levels. The bounce has played out 30+%. And if you weren't buying any time in the last week, why are you buying now? FOMO would be the answer. Hope you're well. I'll see you tomorrow. Do good things.